I'm doing it right now. All right. I think that is the right direction. I'm all right. I am all right. Do, 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 do. Hey, Mark. Um, oh, not those ones. Hey, Bill. Oh, there they are. Okay. Bring you over here. Bring you over here. Okay. I know. I love my gamer keyboard. I have a blue one too. Oh, I can't see what the screen says. All right. That's what I thought. Ones are up. Scooter, yes, I slept almost all day. Okay. See if I remember that I've got this right. Hold on. I might have to, because I'll tell you what, it is a hot mess at the moment. It is a hot mess. Okay, let's see. It isn't. Damn printer is not offline. Ah, okay, there's the clicks. Old school. Between my nails and the keyboard. I gotta, I gotta print some more information cards for the shop. Hey, Zippy. Why? It changes colors. Yeah, so does my mouse. I have a pink set and a blue set. Does the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, I'm already. Uh, hey, Becky. Oh, it's being a pain in the ass. I had this problem last time. So each batch that I print is 100 cards. And who who was your co-host? All right. Oh, midnight. I almost made it at the end of the show. Almost. Nope. It's ignore. I think I might have it on the wrong side. I do. That's all right. All right, so that's the wrong one. Guess the wrong one. I need this one. Yeah, I was finishing up the last dog. Last dog went home. Hang on, I'll tell you what time. I called at 3:55. Yeah, I called them 3:55. All right. Which one is it? See, my printer only gives me so many options for paper size. And it's not reading the proper size when I put it in there, and it pisses me off. I know, Becky, I know. Escape. Hey, Doug. Oh, this is pissing me off. No, that was last night. Hey, Brad. Okay, and now it printed mini. Damn it. I had this problem last time. All right. More settings. No, it's a gamer keyboard. Oh no, Doug. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, it this irritates the hell out of me because I have to play with this to get it to print properly because my printer doesn't list index card sizes and it's a pain in the ass. Okay, now we go here. Now we go here. Now let's try this again. Yes, get well, Doug. Try to get as much rest as you can. And now it's being a pain in the ass and doesn't want to print again. Oh, I hate this fucking printer sometimes. Not today, not to me. There we go. So there is my kennel card. Every dog has one of these. Okay. All right. There's two. I've only lost two so far. Okay. Got it. All right. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. Landscape. Oh, this is such a pain in the ass sometimes. A5. Let's go 90. Nope. 7. 96. Cross your fingers. I did. And I've already rated a little bit so that I don't go overboard. I've got a couple pieces right here. Hubby's already rated some of it. The kids have rated some of it because one of the bonus kids is also Mexican. The one that we've got parchment paper is supposed to be right there. Um, the bonus kid that's been with us for like a week is Mexican, and she's like, "What? Yes." So she's rated it. Um, Kids have rated it. I've got a few pieces right here so that I don't go overboard. Yeah. Yeah. Email. Okay. Oh my goodness. She's too damn cute. Now, is she going to be smooth coated? She looks like she might be smooth coated. Antics, I hear you. Oh my gosh. She's cuter than a button. She's stinking cute. I'm live.
Do you have a camera?
It's on my desk.
Okay, then it's fine.
What do you want? Oh, yes, bonus child. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I forgot I had my gold leaf with me. My gold leaf. I like this container of gold leaves.
That's cool. I ate one.
It doesn't have flavor.
Child.
It tastes good.
Tahine, yes.
Didn't I literally say you said there's no flavor on it?
I can't with you, child. Bonus kid just got her nails done. Oh. Ah. Awesome. I forget. I know it's Spaniel and Terrier, but I forget which off the top of my head which specific breeds, but Spaniel and Terrier mix. Uh, hubby uses tahine like it's going out of style on his mangoes. He loves tahine on his mangoes. Springer, and then Patterdale. I knew it was some. I knew some kind of Spaniel and Terrier. I just couldn't remember which ones. I just could not for the life of me remember which breeds. I'm going to be honest. I have dealt with so many dogs lately. I can't remember whether I'm coming or going half the time. Oh, Why are you showing, dude? Knowing I can't have any, knowing I can't have any ice cream, you go and stick it in front of my face, dude. That's wrong. Yeah, no, he loves tahini on his mango, so he's like, yes, thank you. He was just grinning. He saw that big old bag. He's like, yes, thank you. Oh my God. I saw a dog today that came in for nail clippings. Picture a male version of Mona, but bigger, stockier, and with a bigger. Oh, that was Kiddo. Mini Jen is, I think, in the shower. Um, Bigger, taller, stockier, and where Mona has more of a round head of the Staffy, this guy had the biggest blockhead. I mean, huge square head. I mean, gigantic square head. Oh my God, it was huge. His head was massive, just massive. But the sweetest thing, oh my gosh. Took us a few minutes to just practice and sit and settle so I could do his nails. The sweetest. Oh my gosh, I think I fell in love. I think I fell in love. But yeah, he was just, oh my gosh. Minus the ice raids. That'll work. Dude, I love Mexican food. I love the culture. It's so colorful and flamboyant. I mean, it's just, yeah, yeah, love it. The culture is so, what's the word? There's so much meaning in the culture. Everything is so meaningful. Yeah, I would definitely take it. Definitely. Well, and Mexican women, and not just Mexican women, but Southern American women have to be extremely strong women. They carry, historically, they carry the family. It's what a lot of people don't understand. Historically, Mexican women are very strong, independent, you know, women. I mean, it's just, they keep the family together. They're very strong women. And I respect that. Oh, No Face. Are you still here? Scooter. And then I think it was, where's my little note? Heather. I have it written down here. Brad is getting bandanas for the puppy once the puppy grows up some more. I thought I had enough black. I don't have enough black vinyl. So I've got some in my Amazon cart. Tomorrow, I'm going to go by the store and see what I can find as far as the shirts. And whatever I can't get, I'm going to go ahead and order. So it looks like next weekend. I had the envelope right here. It's here somewhere. It's right here somewhere. But yeah, I didn't have enough of the black to do all of them. So yeah, Becky, that's what I'm talking about. Women in general are strong. We have to put up with a lot of shit. But Central American women, just women of that culture, of that cultural background. So Central America, in general, some strong ass women, really strong ass women. All right, now we go in. Oh, I did my nails too Friday. Focus. Brad, I'm just going to say one comment to that. Actually, I'm going to say two comments to that. Have a monthly cycle. Let's see how far you get with that. And then make a human and push it out. And then tell me. And then right afterwards, get up and walk and go back within days, sometimes 24 hours, and go back to normal activities or as normal as your body can tolerate. And tell me how strong you are. Just say it. Make a human and then tell me. Make a human. And it, like in Scooter's case, she made two at the same time. Make a human. Well, if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be a human race. So somebody's got to do the hard work. It's a little off, but I just need the lines for the date and the charge. That'll work. It ain't got to be perfect on the back. I just need the lines. That's probably a good idea, Brad. It's probably a good idea. Okay, we're just going to pull the tray out. Put these over just a little tiny bit. Okay. What was that? See if that worked, but it didn't. Okay. Yeah. When I had my oldest, I didn't have a whole lot of help. I So when I had my oldest, I went from, she was born emergency C-section 6 weeks early. My mom lived here and I lived in Florida. I wasn't in a great relationship with my stepmom. And my mother-in-law favored the other children. So if she tried to do anything, the others, we need you kind of thing. And I didn't have a great relationship with my stepmom at the time. Um, so I didn't have a lot of help. I got really sick, and I went from slightly elevated protein to full blown HELLP syndrome, and my body was shutting down in 2.5 weeks. And had to have a emergency C-section, and she was born 6 weeks early. Not only that, but then I also ended up having complications with the actual incision because they pulled the staples before I left the hospital. I was only in the hospital for 2.5 days. She was in the hospital for 5 days. So I actually had slippage of the incision. So my incision took longer to heal. And I was battling constant infection because my incision, instead of staying lined up in the center, it slipped. So it was like this. The top part of the incision slipped out. Needless to say, my doctor was not happy with the hospital staff. He was furious with the hospital staff. And so, yeah. And my husband had just started at his job, so he was only given 2 days off because he had just started and hadn't earned any time off yet. So they gave him emergency time because of the situation with me. They could only give him 2 days. Hey, Fraud. So they gave him the 2 days off that I was in the hospital, and then they let him off early the day I came home to bring me home from the hospital. And they let him off a little early when oldest was released from the hospital to be able to bring her home. And the only reason she was held longer was because they were waiting on test results to come back. They did some extra testing on her because when she was born, even though she was 6 weeks early, she was still just over 7 pounds. So they did some extra testing on her to make sure that she didn't have any health issues that would cause her to be larger, because she was 6 weeks early at 7 pounds. Come to find out, she was perfectly fine. Had I gone full term, she would have been 10 to 12 pounds, possibly bigger. And I was looking at a C-section either way. Yeah. And then, so my mom stayed for a few days because she flew out from here. She flew to Florida for a few days. Thank God it was only for a few days, because with her, the only reason the doctor let me go at 2.5 days after surgery was because I was supposed to be coming home and going to bed and resting. She kept me on the go. I was out running around to the stores and stuff with her, getting stuff for the baby, and hubby had a conniption fit. And so she only stayed for a few days. After that, it was pretty much just me. for the most part. I had a couple people, stopping in and checking on me, but no actual help. And then, of course, hubby, when he'd get home from work, he was helping. And then when I had youngest, um, I had her here. And again, I was only in the hospital for a couple of days. And my mom was here when youngest was born. But again, pretty much, and my dad was in Florida. But pretty much did that on my own again. I mean, my mom would stop in and visit, but she didn't help with shit. But I was really sick with youngest too. Youngest was a week and a half early. And with youngest, I was really sick again, but with different issues. I lost 40 pounds being pregnant. And never had morning sickness with either pregnancy. Never had any issues with that but I still, still was sicker than a dog, lost a ton of weight being pregnant. But yeah, I was sick. I was stupid sick when I was pregnant with youngest. So needless to say, we figured out I'm basically allergic to being pregnant. My body basically, in very layman's terms, my body can't process the pregnancy hormone. So the longer I'm pregnant, the higher the pregnancy hormone, the sicker I get. So literally, I'm allergic to being pregnant. It's very layman's terms, is I'm allergic to being pregnant. But to break it down, technically what happens is my body literally can't process the pregnancy hormone. Yeah, no. I would eat, but I just couldn't. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. I ended up losing, it was actually 41 pounds from my first weigh-in, which was actually towards the very end of my first trimester by the time they got me in, even though I was a high-risk pregnancy. I found out, I took the pregnancy test. I was only 3 to 4 weeks pregnant when I took the pregnancy test. And they could not get me on the rotation until towards the end of my first trimester. So that was the first weigh-in. And from that weight until, because with a C-section, they don't take your weight, your final after birth weight, until 7 days after surgery because of swelling and all that. Yeah, antics. I've heard that with a lot of women. So here, what they won't take your after birth weight until 7 days after surgery for a C-section. I don't know if it's different in other places, but that's what the way they do it here is 7 days after birth, from a C-section, for swelling. And so from my first weigh-in till my first weigh-in at the end of my first trimester to my last weigh in after birth. Hey, Carrie Ann. Um, I was actually down 41 pounds. It's good to see you too, my dear. 41 pounds. And they don't know why. The only thing they can think is because I also developed gestational diabetes. They think that part of that was I was already losing weight before the diabetes, but they think it was made worse because I was controlling the diabetes with diet up until the last 2 weeks I was pregnant before I finally went on medication for the diabetes. Yeah, how's hubby doing? That one hurt. What's wrong with the meds? Yeah, the mama stare. I squeaked. I sneezed. Here's the funny thing, Becky. The doctor that I had for youngest here was a traveling doctor, and he worked high risk pregnancies from LA. Big tall black guy named Dr. Lee. 12 years ago. Big tall black guy. Dr. Lee was his name. All right, Scooter. Well, yeah. Anytime you start medications, that's always a risk. Time. All this is going to be new. But yeah, the HCG is the one that Dr. Lee is the one that kind of figured out what was going on with me and why I get so sick during pregnancy. He's the one that told me flat out he was the first one that told me I probably would not survive a third pregnancy. After what happened with the first pregnancy and how fast it went downhill, at the end of my pregnancy and then how sick I was throughout my second pregnancy, he said there's probably a very high likelihood that you would not survive a third pregnancy. That's why I wanted a hysterectomy so early on. Yeah, my squeaky sneezes. I don't know why I sneeze like that. I sneeze like that as long as I could remember. Not all my sneezes are like that, just most of them. Just most of them. I know. I know, Brad. As long as I can remember, I'd say probably 95% of my sneezes are like that. The ones that aren't are usually only when I'm sick. I mean, not always, but usually when I'm sick, they're not squeaky sneezes. Probably because those ones come from deep down inside my soul. You tell them antics. I'm delicate, all right. I don't know about delicate as a flower. Maybe delicate like a BOMB, but delicate, yeah. Oh no, I knew it because I felt it. Oh God, I was so sick, so sick. I I I told him from the rip as soon as she was born, I wanted a hysterectomy, but they wouldn't listen to me. I didn't get the hysterectomy. Here we are 12 years later. I finally had one because I had the prolapse. I told him I was going to have problems after that second C section. I told him I was going to have problems. And then shortly after she was born, he was gone. He stopped coming out here shortly after that. Rosebud, yeah, okay. No, I don't. No, I don't. Ah, ah. You know, I didn't even have my oldest until I was 27. Youngest, she was born when I was 31. Before both of my children know they were not planned. Um, I've always been upfront with my kids. Neither one of them were planned. That does not mean they are loved any less. I love my children to bits. They were not planned. Um, I was never going to have kids, to be honest. I was terrified to have children. Absolutely, utterly terrified to have children. Um, Because honestly, one, the state of the world that we live in. Two, having any more of me. Dear God, help the world. Dear God, help the world. And now we have too many me's. Dear God, help the world. I am sorry for the world, except especially for youngest. Sweet baby Jesus, help us all, because that one's hell on wheels. That one's hell on wheels. Yeah, that one's hell on wheels. I'm just saying. Love her to bits. She makes me laugh just as much as she makes me shake my head, just as much as she gives me a heart attack. All right, antics. We'll see you later. Good night, honey. But yeah, I was terrified to have kids. Oh, that's a loaded question. Um, in the first week, you're gonna want to work on basic potty training, um, and basic house manners. You know, your basic expectations. Um, very short. Well, I don't know. So youngest was born at the end of June. Oldest was supposed to have been born right around the same time. So that would actually be right around mine and hubby's birthdays. Persistence. Persistence. Especially with the breed mix that you've got. Yeah. So youngest, her birthday, her birthday is June 25th, and she was born about a week early. So she would have been right around the beginning of July. And oldest's original due date was right around June 19th. But she was born, like I said, 6 weeks early. She was born May 13th. My birthday is September 12th. Hubby's birthday is September 6th. So, but for potty training, you're going to have to allow, because with the terrier and the spaniel, you're going to have to allow for a little bit more of nose time. Because you've got a nose dog with both of those breeds. So you're going to have a sniffer. Mm-hmm. Yep. That doesn't surprise me. I'm just glad we've got medical like we got now. Because as sick as I was during both of my pregnancies, yeah, I probably wouldn't have made it. Especially my first one. When my body started shutting down. If I'd gone any longer, because when I had just gone to every 2 week appointments, and I had just made my first 2 week appointment. In that first 2 weeks, I I went from slightly elevated proteins to full blown. My kidneys were almost completely shut down, and my liver was starting to fail. All right, in the first week or two at home, your biggest yeah. Hey Lydia, your first thing, you're not going to be able to take your puppy anywhere until you have most of your shots done. I know here in the States, we're dealing, especially in my area, we're dealing with a really we're dealing with a super bug. Um, the coyotes have brought in a wild strain of parvo, so it is extremely strong. It's even affecting adult dogs. That's how strong this strain of parvo is. So vets are actually recommending that you don't take your puppies anywhere until they're fully vaccinated, um, just to be on the safe side, or at least until they're on their third round of parvo shots. I don't know what it's like over there in the UK, but here we're dealing with a super bug of parvo strain. Um, So yeah, it's not good here in the States, at least in my area, and many of the more um, rural areas that have higher populations of coyotes. Um, but at least until your puppy is a little bit more immune, you're going to want to make sure that you're a little bit more careful about taking them out and about into high dog areas, like dog parks and whatnot. Um, but the biggest thing to train for is working on um, bonding with your puppy, starting a routine with your puppy, potty training, and basic, what is allowed, basic household manners, and starting on, some basic obedience. Your puppy is going to be able to pick up basic obedience, um, but you want to keep your training sessions just to a few minutes at a time. You don't want to overwhelm your puppy and then frustrate your puppy because your puppy isn't picking up as fast as you think they should. Um, yeah, and a lot of vets are actually starting to recommend that as well. Just overall because you know safety. But I know here locally, we have a wild strain of parvo that's being brought in by the coyotes, which is being considered basically a superbug because it's affecting adult dogs now too. Yeah, that's the best thing to do, Brad, because every location is different. So, follow your vet's recommendation. Um, that's your best bet because your vet is going to know what's going on and what's happening locally in your area. So your vet will be able to recommend the best for your location. Oh, good, Lydia, good. Um, but the first week, you're definitely going to want to spend time bonding with your puppy. And believe it or not, the best way to bond with your puppy is actually with caring for your puppy, bonding with training, with play, with care, feeding, you know, those are the best ways to bond with your puppy. Positive reinforcement. Your puppy is small enough that, positive reinforcement is definitely going to be the best bet to go. Their findings, veterinarian scientists are finding that is really the best way for pups to learn. I'm gonna send you. I'm probably won't be able to do it during the week, but I was gonna work on it this weekend, but I ended up not getting to it because I spent most of yesterday asleep. But I'm gonna sit down probably this weekend and try to get some resources together for you, and that'll help at least get you started. But yeah, with as young as your puppy is, when she comes home, um, that first week you're definitely she's not home yet. She still has a couple weeks before she comes home. Um, you're You want to keep your training sessions very basic, very simple, and just to a few minutes at a time. Yep. Yeah, you just want to keep it very basic, and you want to just put down the foundations at this point. This is just about building the foundations, and then once you build the foundations at this stage, then you can build up from there. So this is just, putting down the building blocks. But I'll get you some resources. I'll get you some stuff together. Um, we still got a couple weeks before she comes home. I'll have something for you by then for sure. So, all right, let's see. Let's see if anybody is live. I'm not seeing anybody but National Geographic. That's what I'm saying, Becky. He's already worried about, what best. I got you. I'll get you some basics. Um, and then we can kind of get you started from there. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, yeah, we'll get you some basics. But here's the key too is not only is it a matter of me telling you what to do, it's a matter of you following through too. That's the key. Because I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but it's a matter of you following through and being consistent and persistent. That's going to be the key, especially with the breed mix that you have, a spaniel and a terrier. You're going to have to make sure that you're consistent and persistent with training to make sure that you have a good dog in the end. That's always, not always, but 90% of the time, that's where we end up with a failure, is because the owner is not persistent with training. You end up with the skill and then you stop. But you have to start with the basics and then build on from there with the next skill, and build up from the basic onto the next, onto the next, onto the next. But it takes time and consistency and persistence. Yeah. So I'll get some stuff together for you. But there's no rush at this moment. Biggest thing is one thing that I can not stress enough. One thing that I always recommend is kennel training and muzzle training. You never know when a kennel will be needed. You, especially for a puppy, to keep them safe. If you cannot monitor them 24/7, I wish. And you never know when you ever may need to muzzle your dog. You never know. It doesn't hurt to have them familiar and comfortable with a muzzle. Because the last thing you want is to be in a situation where you may have to muzzle your dog for whatever reason, and your dog is not comfortable or familiar with a muzzle. Same with a kennel. Now, I grew up in Florida where we have regular situations where you never know where you may end up in a shelter due to natural disaster. I know, me too. But it's something, that I always recommend that you at least introduce to your dog and at least make them understand that it's okay. So that they don't freak out if they ever find themselves in a situation where they may have to have one or may have to wear one. But a kennel is something that I always advocate that your dog is comfortable and familiar with a kennel. Growing up in a situation that, in an area that it was not uncommon that we could every summer potentially find ourselves in a situation that we would potentially need to evacuate and be in a shelter with our animals. Many shelters will take animals, pets, if they are kenneled. So you never know. Many shelters will take pets if they're kenneled. However, have you ever been in a shelter that takes pets where the pets are freaking out in a kennel? That's not comfortable. It's stressful. It's not good for the animals if they're stressed out in a kennel. So that's something that I always advocate, that you kennel train your dogs so that they are comfortable and stress-free in a kennel. Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what may happen. You may find yourself in a natural disaster, and you may find yourself in that situation where your dog will have, or cat even, may have to be kenneled in a natural disaster, in a shelter situation. So I always recommend that those two, that you introduce your pets and get them comfortable with a kennel situation for reasons like that. Hey, Eric, how are you, honey? Especially with a puppy, that's a safety thing, because if you can't monitor your puppy 24/7, the next best thing to keep them safe is an exercise pen, a play pen, or a kennel. That is the next best thing to keep your puppy safe. because you don't want to leave your puppy running around the house to where she can get into something, potentially chewing on an electrical cord that's she's gotten under a piece of furniture and she found, and she chews on it and electrocutes herself or something like that. So that is the next best thing, is to put her in a playpen or in, you know, a kennel or something like that, to where she can be safe if you can't monitor her 24/7. Oh, good night, Eric. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. So we get little things like that. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I've already taken my night meds. They're going to start kicking in here shortly. For those that, No Face, Heather, Scooter, I'm going to run by the store tomorrow when I get off, see what I can find for shirts. That way I know what I have to order. I've got vinyl already in my cart because I don't have enough black. I've got to get more black. I've got some, but not enough. So, I'm going to make the list of what colors I need to get, what sizes, see what I can get at the store, and then I will order the rest. Right, Becky? So that's kind of what happened with George. That was a surprise worked out by my sister and my husband. And Mona was also kind of unplanned, as a replacement when I lost my first service dog. We had talked about what we were going to do when we lost him. We had not decided until we realized that I couldn't be without a dog after losing him. But George, even though George was originally supposed to be for me, he was not for me. He took to youngest. So after losing Pogo, I made it almost 2 weeks, just shy of 2 weeks. And I just, yeah. That didn't work out well. So, that's how Mona came along. And Mona initially was pulled on foster. She was not even pulled as a full-blown adoption because we didn't know if she had the potential to become a full-blown service dog or not. But I think part of how her and I built our bond was because I had to clean her wounds. I think that's how we built our bond so quickly. It's because she had to trust me enough to let me clean her wounds. And we spent a lot of time together flushing and cleaning, and and keeping her wounds open because I had to let them literally heal from the inside out. So that was a couple of months. Yes. And I have been lucky enough to have this kind of bond now with 3 different dogs in my life. The first one was Samson. He was quarter lab, quarter border collie, half pit. And that dog, oh, still miss him to this day. Pogo. And he was a miniature wire hair dachshund. And now Mona. So I've been blessed with a connection with a dog like this for the 3rd time in my life. And it still chokes me up. To this day. And I still count myself lucky. Still count myself lucky. It is not every day you get that opportunity. And I have had that opportunity 3 times now. And trust me, I know just how blessed I am. And I appreciate it every day. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. All right. I've got... Yeah, and the sad part is, Becky, is we didn't even... She was so filthy that you couldn't even see the wounds. They blended in. That's how dirty she was. All of her wounds blended in. It just felt like she had a dirt, like a mud. You know how mud, when it dries, it kind of just blends in? That's how dirty she was. That's how filthy she was. And it just felt like, because it had rained. It had rained that week. And the dirt that we have here, when it rains and it gets muddy, it's like concrete when it gets wet and then gets onto something, like splashes and stuff, and then it dries. It literally is like concrete. So it didn't surprise me that, she felt crusty until I got to the shop and rinsed her off. And that's all I did. I didn't even soap her up. All I did was rinse her off, and it just disintegrated. And that's when we found all the wounds. Yeah, it does. The dirt here is so fine that it gets wet from rain, which we had earlier, in that week. And it's so hard to explain the dirt that we have here. The dirt that we have here is so one of a kind that there's no other description other than you just call it Nevada dirt. I kid you not. I kid you not. And if you've ever been to Nevada, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is one of a kind, especially up here. It's just so weird. When it gets wet and then dries, it's literally like concrete. Almost, but it's not clay. That's the weird part. It's not clay. It dries hard like clay, but it's not clay. Like you have to soak the ground just to be able to dig, but it's not clay. It gets hard like clay, like concrete clay. Yes, but it's not clay. It's so fine. Oh, you want me to play it?
For a Bengal cat. That's what I said. Have you ever owned a cat before?
Okay.
Adopt a miniature leopard. Oh, no, I came here for a Bengal cat. That's what I said. Have you ever owned a cat before? No, but I've had dogs my whole life, and I heard these guys were pretty dog-like. Yeah, they're kind of like a cat, a dog, and a barbarian all rolled into one. I usually play Bard. Have you ever owned a pet that's more intelligent than you? Oh, I didn't know they're really smart. Not in the rocket science way, more in the way of they'll memorize your routine and then plot destruction based around that. They're destructive? Only when they're bored. How often do they get bored? Like multiple times a day. Okay. You have any other pets in the house? Yeah, I have a dog. Okay, and you're fine with the dog getting his ass beat if he crosses the line? A cat can't beat a dog in a fight, you naive little boy. These cats are very high energy. Are you willing to exercise it? How do you exercise a cat? Usually with a Catholic priest. What? Bengals are super needy, so I'm going to list a few places this cat will seek affection. Please let me know if you're comfortable with it. Okay, when you're watching TV on the couch. Yeah, that would be sweet. While going to the bathroom. Yeah, that's fine. How about during an important work meeting? Fine, as long as they don't show their butthole to the camera. I'll take two. So, you want to adopt a miniature leopard? Oh, no, I came here for a Bengal cat.
I like this guy. He's funny. He does dogs too. Oh my God. And they're usually spot on. Oh yeah. His dog ones are spot on. Yeah. His dog ones are fantastic. Oh my God, that was good. All right, Brad, we'll see you later. You know what? I think I've heard of that place. Yeah, we're definitely mineral heavy here for sure. For sure. All right. Well, I don't have anywhere to send you guys tonight. So, on that note, if you're headed to bed and you need them, night meds, sweet dreams, sleep tight. If you're on the other side and you're just starting your day and you need them, day meds. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to make the time to find something beautiful to look at. Makes the day better, I promise. Can't think of anything super important. Not off the top of my head. So, on that note, don't forget a little bit of kindness, a smile, and a little bit of love make this world a better place. Don't forget to be kind to yourself. You too, Scooter. You too. I'm going to head out. I'm going to stretch out. I'm going to make a note of what shirts I need. And I'm going to try to swing by the store tomorrow when I get off work. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me.